Hello. So I showed my uncle, who worked for Ford, the blue Ford that I did my custom rust job on that Ford, and he said, you should make a Chevy that's all rusty and beat up too. And I said, well, this Ford is a workhorse. It's been around for years and it's still plugging along and still going. It's like, yeah, but make a Chevy that's all beat up and rusty too. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And so I am going to take this Chevy here. Let me pull this little Ford out of the way. And this Chevy, which is a C10, it's a 72 C10, I'm going to rust that truck up. It's going to be an old parts truck, like a handyman's been driving it for years. I think that'll look pretty sweet. So yeah, I love doing that kind of stuff. I love 70s trucks. So far, I've exhausted a Dremel taking chunks from this Chevy, flattening the paint and grinding where the rust is going to be. And I've taken the wheels off, but they're all still here. The wheels are going to sit in the back of the Ford for now. And so that's the first step of the Chevy there. And then I'll start doing the rust painting and then the rust powder and everything else shortly thereafter. In this latest step, I added some black to the areas where I'm going to put the rust color. And I'm letting that dry. And what that will do is that will serve as holes in the rusty areas. So there's black in there, and so when I do the rust over the top of that, it'll look really cool. One of the neat ones I think will be the one right there in the dead center of the shot, in the bed of the truck. I have that rusted out and it look like a hole there. So hopefully that'll work out really well. But just letting the black dry now and rust in a moment. Okay, so far I've been working on the rust on the driver's side of the truck here. And that's what we've got so far. And that's just the enamel paint rust over here, the Humbrol enamel paint. So one layer of rust on one half of the truck. And that's it for this side, which I'm going to let dry so that I can work on the other side. Okay, so here we are with rust on the passenger side of the vehicle. Got some Bondo there. Now granted it's green right now, but I will paint it like a gray. A kind of primered Bondo. Got some marks over here on the front of the truck. Use my Humbrol rust-colored enamel. A little bit more of the black. You can see the Bondo on the paper towel. So that's where we are now on our spiffy little beat-up Chevy truck. Good stuff, Maynard. Okay, so here we go. The latest addition to this truck is to add gray Testors paint to that door. And then I will do a gray powder over it that really makes it look like gray primer. And I still have to do my powders for my surface rust. But we've got a pretty good look so far for my beat up blue and white Chevy pickup truck here. I think it's coming along quite nicely. It's looking like crap, which means it's looking really cool. Okay, so at this point I have added my Tamiya powders and it's looking pretty good. I did a clear coat, and I've got some more to do. Once this is totally dry, I'm going to do my brown oak detail wash and my black wash. And here we pretty much have the completed beat up Chevy truck. Sorry about my creaky chair. That truck there. I'll try to hold this with this hand. Turn the truck around for you. Gotta get a little Ford out of the way. So there's our beat up Chevy truck in all its glory. It's pretty sweet, huh? I'm holding the flashlight to try and shine some light on it. That's what that is. So I think we got ourselves a nice beat up little Chevy truck here. And that's what that project turned out like. So yay, little beat up Chevy truck. I love it. I think I gotta get myself a 1970s Dodge and beat that one up too, because one thing I want to make sure I'm doing is not saying anything about the levels of rust on any given, I made the rusty Ford and I showed it to a relative who loves Ford trucks, and I love Ford trucks of the 70s as well. Even though I grew up, loving Buick cars, I always thought the F-150 was a sweet looking ride. And C10 was my other favorite truck, which is the Chevy. And then in the mid-90s, I fell in love with the Dodge Ram, which is a gorgeous looking truck, but I'm going to try to find one from the 70s, a 70s Dodge to go with my 70s style beat up trucks. So that should be pretty cool. So I'll have to take a look for one of those and add one to my collection. And but there we go, Ford and Chevy rusty trucks. And God, I love doing that kind of stuff. This is a lot of fun.